Hello, hey there. I hope you're doing fine. Thank you so much for joining me on this short broadcast here. Beautiful evening, beautiful weather. And if you're going to watch for the first time, I hope that you're going to share this video. Of course, I request you to follow this Facebook page. And if you're going to be watching this video on YouTube, don't forget to hit the subscription button down there below. So the caption and the talk for today is why or how do you know that you're begging for love? I'm doing this talk because I do so many shows related to relationships on my social media platforms, and time to time I receive messages, and every time I'm reading those messages, whether it's from both men and women, of course mostly women, the story and the message is always somebody trying to beg the other person to love them. Begging, if you check the meaning of begging, is seriously trying to get something from someone, trying to convince the other person. It's a very tough thing to do in life. Begging for money, begging for your life, begging for attention, begging for care. You don't want to find yourself in a situation of begging someone to stop doing what they're doing, begging someone to begin respecting you for all the things. But more importantly, as I said earlier on in this talk today, begging someone for love. I know there are circumstances which forces people to beg for love. There are people who could have been married. They have children, but along the way the marriage is failing. It's breaking down. One of the spouses is moving away, is leaving the marriage, is tired, is cheating, has got another partner. And this can make the other one to start begging him to stay. For the children. Sometimes also some people will find themselves begging for love because they do not have money. I was reading a very nice quote somewhere which said that if you make a lot of money, if you make a lot and enough money, you will avoid very many stupid relationships, including this talk that I'm having here, begging. So once you're financially stable, it gives you an opportunity or room for you to decide not to continue begging. There's a big difference between begging for love and fighting for love. Fighting means you're taking the lead, and then somebody's joining you to fight and overcome all the things that are affecting your relationship. It's good to fight for your love, especially not fighting to have love, but you're fighting because the other person loves you and you're fighting for him or fighting for her. But I'm not going to talk about fighting. As you're sharing this video and listening to me, the talk is about begging for love. One of the reasons or one of the things that I also believe makes someone to beg for love is there are people who have not understood the meaning of love. Where they were brought up or where they were born, how they have grown up, they haven't really understood the true meaning of somebody loving and respecting you. Because love is not painful. Love is not stressful. Love does not make you sad. Love actually reduces your stress levels. Love inspires you to do things that you never thought you could do. In short, love takes you a step further to so many things that you wanted to do in life. When you look at the love between a parent and a child, that love, even when the parent does not have so much to offer to her son or to her daughter, but inspires him or her to do so many things, that's how the power of love is. When there is love, there is no hate. Where there is love, there is no conditions. You know, where there is love, you can count the number of times you are sad. But when you are happy, you can't even count. You can't remember the last time you're feeling very sad. But when you're begging for love, maybe you don't know what love is all about. And I want to challenge you as you're listening to me to go back and ask yourself, what is this thing called love? If somebody asked you, define the meaning of love as you're fighting for this man, as you're fighting for this woman, what does love mean to you? Maybe once you begin to understand the true meaning of love, then you will start stopping begging people. begging for attention, begging for love. Obviously, there are people who are always looking for love. That means their life has not had enough self-love. They themselves do not really love themselves. You know, when you reach at a level where you love you, and I'm talking you so much, you love your peace, you love your money, you love your body so much, it becomes easier for you not to beg for someone to love you. Because at the end of the day, if this person walks away or you walk away from him, the love that you have for yourself is still enough. You can move on with life. Yes, you'll be heartbroken for a few days, a few weeks, or even a few months, but quickly you will just wake up and go on with your life. My question to you is this: how much do you love yourself? There are people who will say, I love myself so much. Love is not just the word love. It goes with actions. Every time you say that you love yourselves, please remember to accompany that statement with actions. You don't say you love yourself, but the actions are the opposite. If you love yourself so much, there are so many people you'll walk away from them, including that man or that woman who has been putting you through pain and stress. If you really loved yourself, the way you say that you love yourself so much, you can't tolerate someone keeping on putting you under pressure, under tension, anxiety, stress for so long. People who love themselves, you can see, sometimes you'll think they're very proud. But when you also join them, when you finally as a man or as a woman begin loving yourself, then you will say, wow, I used to think that man is so proud. I used to see this lady online. I thought she was very proud. But the truth is, pride is not a bad thing. Nobody wants not to feel proud. Proud is you have achieved something. Even when you buy a simple smartphone that you are looking for a long time, you can be very proud of that phone because you achieved it finally. When you begin earning your own money, stop begging people, you can be very proud of how much you have worked so hard to get that job and the money. Pride is not a bad thing. But the same way with pride and self-love, most important skills to learn at this era, if you don't love yourself as I'm making this video, there are very many high chances you will always beg for love. Begin today. Now, as I wind up in this talk, you know, when you're begging for love, it's very interesting because it makes you as a man or as a woman to start dancing on a song that is meant for two people. Have you ever gone to a dancing club or a session and the music being played is meant for couples? And then you sit somewhere in a corner, maybe you're a single man or a single woman, then you see one person dancing alone on the floor. Or you see a woman dancing alone on the floor while everyone else has their partner or their spouse. How does it look like? If about 50 couples who are dancing on stage and you are begging for love and you are in this group, would you stand as a man or as a woman to go on stage and start dancing? You know, everyone will be looking at you. Everyone will be wondering, what's going on with this woman? She's dancing alone. And it's even much more funnier if you begin dancing alone and you're holding your waist. I have gone to clubs. I used to go to club back in the days in my 20s. And sometimes I could see people dancing in front of a mirror. In fact, a club is much better because there's a mirror. You can dance as you admire yourself. It's just the same way you do it when you're alone in your bathroom or at home. But I'm talking about an event, a big event, couples edition, dancing, holding each other, hand to hand, skin to skin, close to close. And you are there dancing on your own will you be happy? Unless you're intoxicated, very drunk, smoked lots of weed, or under duress, or some kind of drug that you do not know what's going on. That's the only way you can enjoy this kind of dance. Every time you're begging someone for love, remember that story. You are dancing to a song that is meant for two people. Or better still, let me use another example. If you try to hold sand, if you like to go to the beach, and then you're holding the sand in your hands with your fingers open, how long can you hold the sand? Or how much sand can you carry? Just imagine that situation. That is the same way of begging for love. You are trying to hold this thing together. You're trying to hold the marriage together. There are children there, you are there. Then the other person who has become a hooligan or has become very irresponsible, abusive, and does not care about how you feel. Because when you are begging someone for love, the other person doesn't really care about your life. Even when you're sick, even when you are going through depression, it doesn't matter to them. In fact, maybe, just maybe, they might celebrate if you die. Maybe. That's the meaning of begging for love. Maybe they will finally say, wow, at least this person is no more. Now I am a free man. Now I can sleep with anyone. Now I can go on with my life. But I don't want it to get there. You're not supposed to die for someone to celebrate because you are begging him to stay. You're begging him to take care of your children. You're begging him to make you be in his life. I don't want you to go there. There are people who beg for love simply because the priorities have changed, you know? Priority, priority, priority. This is one of the areas that sometimes people don't realize. The way I started this video, I say that I get these messages. When I am reading a message from a man or from a woman, and you read, some of them I post them on my Facebook page. You read some of them if you've ever seen them. When you read the message, you can see that person is not a priority to the other person. It is a very bad feeling to realize that on the list of this person's life and priorities, you're not even in top 5. Most men, and I speak as a man, they have a list of priorities. When you ask a man, tell me, ask any man, from today, what are your priorities? He will tell you, and most men are very honest. If it's their wife and their family, they will put it there on the list. But if it's not there, you will hear a very funny list. Not funny, but it's the truth. This man is saying the truth. I love my job. I love politics. I want to achieve certain things in life. I'm pursuing certain dreams. I love my car. I love my possessions. I love my talent. I love my looks. I love my achievements. In that list, by the time you hear, oh, I love my wife, I love my children, I love my family life, I love my marriage, it can take ages. The same thing with a boyfriend or a girlfriend. They are beginning to try this journey of what other couples have tried. But they don't realize a simple ignoring of phone calls, texts, receiving and sending messages on time, planning to be together or to meeting, or even asking you how you're doing, how is your day, how is your life, you live in this country, how are you doing, how are you managing. They don't realize that they are not a priority to this person's life. And when you're begging for love, the truth is you're not a priority. If you are a priority, that same person that you're begging will not ignore you. That same person will look for you. If you go mute just for 2 days, he will look for you. That person will not block you. That person will not unfriend you and then unblock you again and then friend you back and then unfriend. That is not love. That's a game. It's a stupid game. It's a high school game. And then you sit there still begging this person to stop doing that. How about telling him, the next time you're blocking me, I am blocking you too. Open another account to look for me. I have not changed my account. This is the true meaning of begging for love. Now I want to finish by saying this. Begging also shows people or someone how desperate you are. Desperation in life is so unfortunate. You don't want to find yourself being desperate. When you're begging your boss not to fire you, not to lose your job, you know how desperate you are to have this job. And most of us who have been brought up, aside from this love topic that I'm talking about, we have grown up knowing that to beg is something nice. Even when you know it's your right. You know that I am qualified to do this job. The salary that I'm getting and the amount of time that I'm being told to work, they're not in the same level. But because you know from the way you're brought up, you have to beg, show some respect to your bosses, to your company. You're going to lose your job. But did you know that people have power? They realize that they are being used and say enough is enough. I can't go on doing this job. And then the company or the bosses begin to realize, wow, this person understands that we're actually using him or using her. I was surprised that at one point where I was working, one of my workmates stood in front of my boss and told him that I am doing too much. You don't care about me. You don't care about my feelings. You only care about me doing this job to make money for you. Then I started shaking. I knew I was going to be fired. I'm doing this video today, but that guy is still working for that company. He was promoted. The boss respected him. In fact, that boss got scared. For the first time, I realized, wow, so if you stop begging, things can change? Seriously? And I want you to remember all these simple examples that I'm giving to you. Stop begging for love. Love is a beautiful thing. If somebody wants you, they will show it to you. They will prove it to you. If they really needed you in their lives, they will show. You don't have to fight so much to have them. If you're watching this video now, please go back and watch from the beginning. I hope you have learned something. Begin the journey of saying no to begging to love. Teach your kids, teach your younger brothers and sisters. There are other more important things to beg for or to fight for, more than love. Tell them, remind them, tell them your mistakes, how much you begged, and tell them, hey, when you grow up, you become like me. Don't do that. Know your worth. Respect yourself. Love yourself. And let the other person know how important you are. Please share this video, tag a friend, and thank you for watching. Don't forget to follow this page, and don't forget to buy those stars there on Facebook. I hope to see you again in the next live video. Take care, God bless, and I love you.